Thank you, Shailesh. So let me invite the first speaker, Sharnice Joyce. Sharnice is probably one of the youngest people in this entire group over here. And at an age of very early age, at just 27, she already has 9 enterprises under her belt, 6 businesses, and 3 social enterprises. So she is truly a multi-mowpreneur, as she calls herself. And she has special interest in, apart from all her businesses, in helping the community, spreading the Maori language. She is very actively involved in a lot of social work. And as a person who juggles around with 9 entities at one time, who better than her to talk to us about business resilience and leveraging your time and managing it in these challenging times. Thank you for agreeing to speak to us, Shanice. We look forward to hearing from you. Please welcome Shanice Joyce.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi nui kia koutou I te whānau, e karapiripiri mai nei, e hui topa, but ngā mihi nui kia koutou or korua at the moment, E3, but tēnā koutou katoa. So tēnā koutou everyone, I just wanted to do quick acknowledgements to our hosts, E3, for having us here. So ngā mihi korua. And my other guest speakers that are on here as well. I feel a little bit under pressure being first and going against 2 others that are amazing speakers in this field, but thank you for having me here. I don't have there's no secret to business or anything like that. And I'm a bit of a kōpara up here in the north, so I don't like to speak about myself. There's a whakatauki that you could go away and Google later. But it's kore e kōrero e taku kumara. So I don't talk about my sweetness. I usually allow others to do that for me. Yes, I'm a Maori entrepreneur, I call myself. The emphasis on there is Maui. So Mauipreneur rather than a multi-entrepreneur. Maui is one of my tupuna, and it's an Indigenous term that was adopted quite a few years ago from a lady, I should say, a whaia, and her name was Josie Keeland. She did a thesis on Mauipreneurship, which is about using Indigenous culture in your everyday business. And so the term Mauipreneur came through there. I enjoyed it, and so I give acknowledgements to her and the mahi she did. I studied business when I was at school, but I started my business life, I guess, when I was 15. But quick background on me, I live up in the beautiful far north or mid-north, Te Ika on Maui in Whangarei, between Whangarei and Dargaville and Kaipara. My mum and my dad don't do business at all. They work for government. My dad's a police officer in youth education and iwi engagement, and my mum is the operational manager, regional manager for Statistics New Zealand. So very different from doing business. No one else in my whānau does business, but for some reason I wanted to do business, and I continued to do it from the age of 15, starting through Young Enterprise, which is a scheme that happens at school, the Young Enterprise Foundation, and I give a lot of credit to them for helping and encouraging me to participate in business. And over that time, has been introduced, I opened 6 businesses, or turned my first school businesses into social limited enterprises, and more recently over the last 5 years have decided to move into social enterprise. So I'm now looking at splitting my time. I guess some of the key points that I wanted to talk about was just personal resilience at first. So breaking up resilience from business, and also talking about personal resilience. There's a whakatauki that goes, ka ora te whenua, ka ora ngā tangata. I don't know if anyone's heard that, but what it is if the whenua or the land is well, then the people are well. And so if we change that out, just 2 kopi there, if we changed out ka ora e au, so if I am well, ka ora ngā Pākehī which is business. So if I am well, my business is well. And that's something that I wanted us to really think about. I try and use Indigenous knowledge in my business. So for me, that whakatauki is something that I can leave with you to go away and research. But yeah, again, talking about if my business is well, then I am well, and vice versa. If I am well, my business is well. And so the first, I guess, keynote that I want everyone to go away and think about is their own personal health and hauora, what their journey looks like, what they look like. Do you have your own goals and set your own targets? Because if we don't have targets and we're not aiming for anything, then we're not achieving anything. So personal resilience is something that goes along business resilience, because if you're not personally able to feel like you're achieving, then your business is going to be affected by that too. So that's my first tip, I guess, is to go away and to think about your own journey, whether or not it's your own language or another language, or something that you want to do as a that you've always wanted to do as a child. Maybe I wanted to learn how to do the Rubik's Cube in school. So it was a goal that I set myself during my studies. For a whole year, I learned how to do every single Rubik's Cube out there. But it wasn't just about doing the Rubik's Cube. It was about knowing that that was the same thing as my study, that I had to study and invest in myself, as well as investing into my own schooling. And the same thing goes with business. So personal growth and personal resilience. I guess the second thing that I wanted to share and talk about was the importance of making mistakes. Mistakes are what grow and build your resilience to begin with, and you can make them in your personal life as well as your own business life. And without making mistakes, you're never going to be able to grow. So I was really scared about making mistakes. I was really scared about being rejected and saying no, and having a lot of people look differently at me. So that's another, I guess, key point that I want us to talk about and really think about is, if we've made mistakes in the past, it's actually how we are able to grow. And I guess through this whole COVID journey as well, we've been able to make mistakes the first round and then pick those things up into the second round. And we saw that with the way businesses adapted, and I guess everyone's been using that word that we don't really want to say, but the word pivot. So we pivoted to become online enterprises at times, or e-businesses, and then we pivoted again with the second lot of lockdown. And so making mistakes, I guess, is really, really, really important when we want to be able to grow in our businesses. And I guess the last point that I really want to touch on is that pillars. There are lots of different pillars in your life, and there's a whare tapa whā model that has 4 different pillars. But then there's a whare tapa whā model that is by Wiremu Gray, and he published it in 2017. And it's the whare ora, te whare mauri ora, sorry. And what it has is, it has Ranginui and Papatūānuku as the 2 foundations, one at the top and one at the bottom. You don't have to see these as, I'm not trying to push Māoridom or atua, but you can see these as your own parents or your own whānau, the people you look up to. One might be the foundation of the people that you aspire to be, and the other might be the people that have helped you, so that you've got 2 different supports there. In the middle, it has Mauri ora, which is about your own life and well-being. And that's why I wanted to firstly touch on the fact that your own personal resilience is something that you need to think about, because you're right at the center of your business. And the other models, I'm sure we've all heard them at some stage: Awhānau, Tinana, Hinengaro, and Wairua. And those can be transformed into different parts of your business. You can talk about your business culture. That might be the wairua of your business. You could talk about tinana, so the actual people that you're investing into. And you can change out some of those pillars. And so I guess the important thing to think about at first is that you are your business. You are the center of your business, and then everything else comes around you. And it might not be that you're an individual in your enterprise, so you might have other multiple business partners, but you're all at the middle there. You're all the ones that are holding up that whare. And so when a pillar falls down, and I'm sure everyone's had a moment when they've relied on somebody else and that other person hasn't come through, and it might not be that they're in your business, but they might be a different business that you interact with. When one of those pillars falls over or is broken or is not working and holding the weight, all the weight starts to shift. And sometimes you feel yourself more pressurized in the middle because the person in the middle of the house or the whare is actually the person that's holding all the weight. And so you need a way to distribute that to others. So the kōrero behind that, I guess, is a reminder that we can't do business on our own, and you have to rely and have others help and support and be some pillars in some way. And I guess we saw that with the government and the whole shutdown and the lockdowns that we've just been through, and we're still going through at the moment. Some of us are in level 3, some of us in level 2. Hopefully at some stage we'll be back in level 1 shortly. But we rely on people, other tangata, other people are a pillar in our business, a very important pillar, because they support our business through either awhi or aroha, and in some cases pūtea as well. So investing into your business, investing into you, buying your products. And so we have to think about how we can move and transfer that weight so it's not such a big problem. I guess I'm not too sure how much longer I've got to talk, but I just wanted to run over those things again just quickly for us to just wind up, is that your business relies on you. That's a very important thing to think about. You are your business relies on you. So ka ora e au, ka ora te Pākehī. I am my business is me, or the life of my business relies on me. Any way you want to translate that. Making mistakes only helps you grow your business and your resilience, and there are different pillars, so you can't do everything alone. I've been able to do business because of that, because of the fact that I've worked with other people and I've been able to build relationships. I'm not going to sit here and say that lockdown's been easy. My business, a lot of my businesses rely on face-to-face engagement. But if you have a good rapport and you're able to build a good way in terms of relationship with other people, then they're more likely to come back and help you and support you in some way. So building some grassroots connections rather than just surface level connections is really important in a business. It's actually, the bloodline is, I think everyone's been talking about, but people are the bloodline of your business. So everyone needs to go back to actually talking to their customers and really engaging, rather than just the pop in and out of the store. You don't want to be the person that's just serving coffee. You want to be the person that's, while they're at the coffee machine, asking them how their day is, those sorts of things. I know it takes a really long time, but I'm sure other speakers will talk about time management. But the small part from that is that every little minute that you invest into your business will hopefully come back in the long run. And I've been able to see that. I guess I can vouch for it. Is that although stuff doesn't come back the way that you want it and immediately, it's about the longevity and of the relationship and being able to push forward and move forward. So with that, I guess I'm going to wrap up there. I'm not too sure if it was too long or too short, but I encourage everyone to go out there and be authentically themselves in their business, because people want you to be who you are. And that's what I've been really proud to be able to say. I've been myself in my own businesses for a while now. So nā mihi nui kia koutou e te whānau, kia kaha ka maia ka manawa nui. And back to you, Shailesh and team. Thank you so much for having me and listening.
Yes, no, thank you so much, Shanice. Wonderful insights for me to also understand, like, for a person to handle multiple businesses and multiple entities, it's definitely also a good way of having multi-stream of income, where people should also be now looking at, rather than focusing only on one because of the whole uncertainties that we are in. So no, that's a good insight. Thanks so much, Shanice. I put back to now Anand.
Shani, thank you very much. And there is definitely something to think about. And I've also jotted down a couple of questions, as I'm sure others have. So please make sure you have your questions ready for our speakers, and we'll have a session right at the end.